The Senate will come to order. I ask everyone present to please rise and recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. In the absence of clergy, let us bow our heads in a moment of silent reflection or prayer. Reading of the journal.
In Senate, Sunday, January 22nd, 2023, the Senate met pursuant to adjournment. The journal of Saturday, January 21st, 2023 was read and approved. On motion, the Senate adjourned.
Without objection, the journal stands approved as read. Presentation of petitions. Messages from the Assembly. Secretary will read.
Senator Skoufis moved to discharge from the Committee on Rules. Assembly Bill number 616 is substituted for the identical Senate Bill 826, third reading calendar 35. Senator Sanders moved to discharge from the Committee on Rules. Assembly Bill number 615 is substituted for the identical Senate Bill 829, third reading calendar 38. Senator Hinchey moved to discharge from the Committee on Rules. Assembly Bill number 617 is substituted for the identical Senate Bill 847, third reading calendar 56. Senator Harkin moves to discharge from the Committee on Rules. Assembly Bill number 988 is substituted for the identical Senate Bill 856, third reading calendar 65.
So ordered. Messages from the Governor. Report to standing committees. Report to select committees. Communications and reports from state offices. Motions and resolutions. Senator Gianaris.
I have the floor, Senator Lanza. I have a motion on page 8. I offer the following amendments to calendar 37, Senate Print 828, and ask that said bill retain its place on third reading calendar.
The amendments are received and the bill will retain its place on the third reading calendar. Senator Gianaris.
Please recognize Senator Lanza.
Senator Lanza, why do you rise?
Mr. President, I rise to point of order. Is there a report of the Judiciary Committee at the desk?
There is no report of the Judiciary Committee at the desk, Senator Lanza.
Mr. President, the fact that there is no report from the Judiciary at the desk violates Senate Rule 7, paragraph 7, which requires a report to the Senate from the committee of a nomination referred to it. The rule makes no distinction between a report that is favorable and a report that is not favorable. I request that the chair order the Judiciary Committee to report the nomination to the desk.
Senator Lanza, pursuant to Rule 7 in longstanding Senate practice, a report of a standing committee that is not recommended does not make its way to the desk.
Senate Rule 7 clearly states that all nominations sent by the governor for the appointment of any officer shall be submitted to the temporary president, who shall then refer such nominations simultaneously
Simultaneously?
Yeah.
It's a bit long sometimes.
Yeah. So I'll skip to the conclusion of that. Other than the Committee on the Judiciary shall thereafter refer such nomination to the Finance Committee of the Senate, who shall take whatever further actions deems necessary, and thereafter make its report on the nomination to the full Senate.
Senator Janaris.
I'd like to also direct Senator Lanza's attention to Rule 6, which says no committee shall vote to report a matter unless a majority of all the members thereof vote in favor of such report. And in the case that Senator Lanza is referring to, as we all now know, there was not majority support for making such a report.
So, Senator Janaris.
Mr. President,
Senator Janaris.
Mr. President, I point out that Rule 6 is a very general provision regarding reports from committees, while Rule 7 is very specific to nominations, and therefore it is the governing rule for this body relevant to this matter.
You've made clear the position of the Senate, and I would encourage you to rule Senator Lanza's motions out of order, and we can proceed with the day's business.
Mr. President, I appeal the ruling of the chair and ask for a show of hands.
Senator Lanza, you're out of order.
I appeal the ruling of the chair and ask for a show of hands.
So ordered. A show of hands to overturn the ruling of the chair. The motion fails. Janaris.
We were waiting for a count of the raised hands.
I was presumptuous. I apologize. May we once again have a show of hands, please?
Ayes 20.
The ruling of the chair stands. Senator Janaris.
Mr. President, there will be an immediate meeting of the Rules Committee in room 332.
There will be an immediate meeting of the Rules Committee in room 332. The Senate will stand at ease. The Senate will return to order. Senator Janaris.
Mr. President, as there was a committee which a majority of members voted to issue a report, I believe there's a report of the Rules Committee at the desk. Can we take that up, please?
Indeed there is. The Secretary will read.
Senator Stewart Cousins from the Committee on Rules reports the following bills. Senate Print 108A by Senator Kruger, concurrent resolution of the Senate and Assembly proposing an amendment to Section 11 of Article 1 of the Constitution. Senate Print 348B by Senator Clare, enactment of the Public Health Law. Senate Print 1003A by Senator Henchy, enactment of the Public Health Law. Senate Print 1043 by Senator Stavisky, enactment of the Education Law. Senate Print 1066A by Senator Mayer, enactment of the Criminal Procedure Law. Senate Print 1521 by Senator Hoyman Siegel, enact in relation to terms and conditions of employment of certain non-judicial officers. Senate Print 2219 by Senator Cooney, enactment of the State Finance Law. Senate Print 2220 by Senator Skoufis, enactment of the Public Officers Law. Senate Print 2221 by Senator Martinez, enactment of the Penal Law. Senate Print 2222 by Senator Harcum, enactment of the Environmental Conservation Law. Senate Print 2223 by Senator Scarcella Spanton, enactment of the Executive Law. Senate Print 2224 by Senator Martinez, enactment of the Public Service Law. Senate Print 2225 by Senator Parker, enactment of the Public Service Law. Senate Print 2226 by Senator Webb, enactment of the Public Health Law. Senate Print 2227 by Senator Parker, enactment of the Public Service Law. Senate Print 2228 by Senator Breslin, enactment of the Insurance Law. Senate Print 2229 by Senator Sanders, enactment of the Banking Law. Senate Print 2230 by Senator Clare, enactment of the Public Health Law. Senate Print 2231 by Senator Breslin, enactment of the Insurance Law. Senate Print 2232 by Senator Thomas, enactment of the Chapter of the Laws 2022. Senate Print 2233 by Senator Thomas, enactment of the Chapter of the Laws 2022. Senate Print 2234 by Senator Hoyman Siegel, enactment of the Domestic Relations Law. All bills report direct to third reading.
Move to accept the report of the Rules Committee.
All those in favor of accepting the report of the Rules Committee signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The report of the Rules Committee is accepted. Senator Janaris.
Mr. President, at this time, can we return to motions and resolutions and take up previously adopted Resolution 187 by Senator Chu? Read the resolution's title and recognize Senator Chu.
The Secretary will read.
Senate Resolution 187 by Senator Chu, commemorating the Asian American Community celebration of the Lunar New Year, the Year of the Rabbit, on January 22nd, 2023.
Senator Chu on the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's truly a great honor to stand here before all my colleagues to commemorating and recognizing Lunar New Year of 2023. Especially, we all heard about what happened in LA in the past weekend. It was a very heavy, heartfelt weekend for many Asian American families while we're trying to celebrate this important holiday. As the first Asian American woman to be elected to state senate and representing an Asian plurality district in southern Brooklyn and Brooklyn Chinatown, today is very meaningful to all our AAPI communities across New York State. Lunar New Year is the beginning of a lunar calendar year, which is widely celebrated and observed in many East and Southeast Asian countries and regions like China, South Korea, Vietnam, Taiwan, Singapore, and Malaysia. In New York State, the Asian community is the fastest growing ethnic group. Asian American population increased nearly 40% in the past 10 years, and now Asian Americans are a little over 10% of New York State's total population. Therefore, by recognizing this cultural and traditional event, certainly shows our commitment to the respect of every ethnic heritage. 2023 is the year of Rabbit. It is reflective of a deep, underlying confidence and strength, steadfast in moving toward their goals, also symbolized firm but gentle in spirit, intelligent and hope. As a member of our chamber, I believe this spirit of the year of Rabbit also reflect our common goals. I also would like to take this moment to recognize the generosity of my colleague, Senator Brian Kavanaugh, who has so graciously allowed me to carry this torch of presenting this resolution together, and that's all I have. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Chu. Senator Cooney on the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to start by joining my colleagues in wishing you all a very happy New Year, those who celebrate the Lunar New Year across the state. And thank you, Senator Chu, for your leadership, and Senator Kavanaugh for raising this important opportunity, not just to mark the tragedy that happened in Monterey Park, but also to remind us all about what this new year promises for all of us across New York. Many of you know about my South Asian heritage, but you may not know that my wife, Diane, is a first-generation Chinese American. We are very proud of our shared AAPI representation, especially in communities outside of the great city of New York. The Asian population is the fastest growing demographic in the United States, including a 37% increase right here in New York State between 2010 and 2020. So today is an excellent reminder for all of us that representation truly matters. And it is a privilege to serve with other AAPI members, both in this chamber and in the Assembly. Our AAPI caucus is growing, and together we are amplifying the voices of our community and leading by example. We are showing the next generation of Asian Americans in New York State that they have a seat in this chamber and a voice to be heard. So again, let me remind us all that this is a moment of celebration and renewal. Happy New Year. And as Senator Chu said, the year of the rabbit, we are focused on prosperity and hope, a goal that we all share on both sides of the aisle. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Cooney. The resolution was previously adopted on January 18th. Senator Gineris.
Mr. President, at the request of Senator Chu, the resolution is open for co-sponsorship.
The resolution is open for co-sponsorship. Should you choose not to be a co-sponsor of this resolution, please notify the desk. Senator Gineris.
Please take up the reading of the calendar.
Secretary Reed.
Calendar number 35, Assembly number 616 by Assemblymember Jean-Pierre, an act to amend the chapter of the law 2022.
Read the last section.
Section 2, this act shall take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Gianaris Kruger, Ort, Stewart Cousins, White.
Announce the results.
Ayes 61.
The bill is passed.
Calendar number 38, Assembly number 615 by Assemblymember Thiel, an act to amend the Agriculture and Markets Law.
Read the last section.
Section 2, this act shall take effect on the same date and in the same manner as the chapter of the law 2022.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Gianaris Kruger, Ort, Stewart Cousins, White.
Announce the results.
Ayes 61.
The bill is passed.
Calendar number 40, Senate Print 831 by Senator Rivera, an act relating to the availability for training for state-approved educational and training programs.
Read the last section.
Section 4, this act shall take effect on the same date and in the same manner as the chapter of the law 2022.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Gianaris Kruger, Ort, Stewart Cousins, White.
Announce the results.
Ayes 61.
The bill is passed.
Calendar number 52, Senate Print 843 by Senator Liu, an act to amend the education law.
Read the last section.
Section 3, this act shall take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Gianaris Kruger, Ort, Stewart Cousins, White.
Announce the results.
In relation to County 52, those senators voted in the negative are Senators Borrello, Griffo, Lanza, O'Mara, Ort, and Rhodes. Ayes 55, nays 6.
The bill is passed.
Calendar number 56, Assembly number 617 by Assemblymember Werner, an act to amend the Agriculture and Markets Law.
Read the last section.
Section 2, this act shall take effect on the same date and in the same manner as the chapter of the laws of 2022.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Gianaris, Kruger, Ort, Stewart, Cousins, White.
Announce the results.
In relation to calendar 56, voted in the negative, Senator Skoufis. Ayes 60, nays 1.
The bill is passed.
Calendar number 57, Senate Print 848 by Senator Gianaris, an act to amend the labor law.
Read the last section.
Section 2, this act shall take effect on the same date and in the same manner as the chapter of the laws of 2022.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Gianaris, Kruger, Ort, Stewart, Cousins, White.
Announce the results.
In relation to calendar number 57, those senators voted in the negative are Senators Borrello, Griffo, Helming, Murray, O'Mara, Ort, and White. Ayes 54, nays 7.
The bill is passed.
Calendar number 58, Senate Print 849 by Senator Prasad, an act to amend the executive law.
Read the last section.
Section 2, this act shall take effect on the same date and in the same manner as the law of chapter 2022.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Gianaris, Kruger, Ort, Stewart, Cousins, White.
Announce the results.
In relation to calendar 58, those senators voted in the negative are Senators Borrello, Gallivan, Griffo, Helming, Matera, Murray, Oberacker, O'Mara, Rhodes, Rollison, Steck, Tedisco, Wozik, and White. Ayes 47, nays 14.
The bill is passed.
Calendar number 65, Assembly number 988 by Assemblymember Rosenthal, an act to repeal Section 1 of the chapter of the laws of 2022.
Read the last section.
Section 2, this act shall take effect on the same date and in the same manner as the chapter of the laws of 2022.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Gianaris, Kruger, Ort, Stewart, Cousins, White.
Announce the results.
Ayes 61.
The bill is passed.
Calendar number 67, Senate Print 858 by Senator Mannion, an act to amend the state finance law.
Read the last section.
Section 2, this act shall take effect on the same date and in the same manner as the chapter of the laws of 2022.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Gianaris, Kruger, Ort, Stewart, Cousins, White.
Announce the results.
Ayes 61.
The bill is passed.
Calendar number 68, Senate Print 859 by Senator Ryan, an act to amend the education law and the tax law.
Read the last section.
Section 4, this act shall take effect on the same date and in the same manner as the chapter of the laws of 2022.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Gianaris, Kruger, Ort, Stewart, Cousins, White.
Announce the results.
Ayes 61.
The bill is passed.
Calendar number 87, Senate Print 1318 by Senator Breslin, an act to amend the insurance law.
Read the last section.
Section 2, this act shall take effect on the same date and in the same manner as the chapter of the laws of 2022.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Gianaris, Kruger, Ort, Stewart, Cousins, White.
Announce the results.
In relation to calendar 87, those senators voted in the negative are Senators Martins and Skoufis. Ayes 59, nays 2.
The bill is passed.
Calendar number 102, Senate Print 1334 by Senator Cooney, an act to amend the real property action and proceedings law.
Read the last section.
Section 5, this act shall take effect on the same date and in the same manner as the chapter of the law of 2022.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Gianaris, Kruger, Ort, Stewart, Cousins, White.
Announce the results.
Ayes 61.
The bill is passed. Senator Gianaris, that completes the reading of today's calendar.
Is there any further business at the desk?
There is no further business at the desk.
I move to adjourn until tomorrow, Tuesday, January 24th at 3 p.m.
On motion, the Senate stands adjourned until Tuesday, January 24th at 3 p.m.